And now our feature, Gender, Mutual Respect, Love, Marriage, and the Family.
Today we're going to visit a centre which has developed in response to the problem of AIDS in rural South Africa. The centre is found in KwaZulu-Natal, just over 100 kilometres north of Durban, in the town of Mandeni, in an area which is said to have the highest rate of AIDS anywhere. Mandeni lies on the trucking route between Durban and Mozambique, a fact that contributed to this high rate of infection. The Blessed Gerard Centre is named after the founder of the Knights of Malta, who have contributed greatly to the construction of the centre through the foundation Brotherhood of Blessed Gerard, first set up in 1992. The building was opened in 1996 and since then has grown in response to the needs of the people. Father Gerard Lagleder is a Benedictine missionary, and it was he, together with a local doctor, who saw that something had to be done to help relieve the suffering of the people in Mandeni.
Well, I was born in Regensburg in Germany, and what I'm doing in a nutshell is that I'm the head of a relief organization, the relief organization of the Order of Malta in South Africa, which happens to be the largest Catholic relief organization in South Africa. What we are doing is basically AIDS work. The largest project we are running is a hospice. And the hospice is not only looking after dying patients, which is the original task of hospice, but we are also doing AIDS treatment, say highly active antiretroviral treatment, with which you will succeed to prolong the lifespan of an AIDS patient by another 10, 15, 20, maybe even 25 years. A second major task which we are running stems from our hospice, that we look after children whose parents have died from AIDS, and we run an orphanage which we call Blessed Gerard's Children's Home. But it's not only AIDS orphans who we are looking after, but it's also abandoned children, and it is children who have been abused, and we give them a new home and we give them a proper start into life.
So this is quite a lot of projects under the one umbrella, is that right?
That is correct. It's all in all 12 projects. There are some more projects. We have a clinic for malnourished infants, which is basically an answer to the AIDS pandemic, meaning that HIV-positive mother should not breastfeed her baby, and therefore sometimes the children are then malnourished because the parents can't afford the infant formula, or they thin it too much with water, or they feed the babies with mealie porridge or with thinned custard, and that means the babies only get carbohydrates and no protein. And so we run that malnutrition clinic to give them proper food and to teach their parents in proper infant care, so that the children won't have brain damage from the malnutrition.
Could we look at the centre, why you've chosen this name, Blessed Gerard Centre?
We have chosen the name because Blessed Gerard is the founder of the Order of Malta, which is the oldest hospital order of the Church, and we are their South African relief organization, so we are named as after the founder of the Order of Malta. And why we call it a brotherhood, that is because the Order of Malta originally, more than 900 years ago, was founded as a brotherhood, the Brotherhood of St. John in Jerusalem, which 14 years after its foundation, 1099, in 1113, was raised to the status of a religious order by Pope Paschalis II. And so, for historical reasons, we called our organization the Brotherhood of Blessed Gerard.
And funding. You have a very beautiful building and you're doing a great task. So the funding, how is that coming?
Unfortunately, we have to fundraise for every cent that we are spending because we are not government funded. The government has more than enough work to do on their own, and so they can't fund church projects, so we have to do that ourselves, and we do international fundraising, which means we open our hands to every good heart and generous hand to support us in our work.
Father Gerard shared with us about what led him to see the need for the Blessed Gerard Centre.
The beginning of the whole thing was that I was sent as a parish priest into a parish where there are around about 250,000 people in the area, and it was absolutely badly served as far as healthcare is concerned, which means, if I exaggerate, that people were dying while I was preaching. And it is one of the genuine tasks of the Church to look after those who are in need, and therefore I felt a calling to organize the charitable work of the Church properly, and to do it in that way that we are not running a satellite project where Help for Africa is organized by some people overseas, but where we do it as a genuine African project. So to motivate and to enable our South African people to look after South Africans in South Africa. There was a story, and the story was I was called as a priest to a dying lady, and I went to the dying lady and I saw she's really in a bad state. I gave her the communion of the sick, and I gave her the anointing of the sick. And as she was so bad, I said, "What's happening to you? What's wrong with you?" And she told me, "Oh, I've got such a sore back." And I said, "Well, I'm not only a priest, I'm also a nurse. Would you mind allowing me to have a look at you?" And I had a look at her back, and it was absolutely eaten up by decubital ulcers. And I told that lady, "Please, would you come along with me? You need a good doctor." And she said, "Oh, for heaven's sake, I haven't got that money." And I said, "Let that be my worry." And I took her along in my pickup and brought her to a good doctor who happened to be the pastoral council chairman of our parish, and he transferred her to hospital, and she died in the same night. And after that doctor came to me and said, "Father, come on, can't we do something that people in our area are properly looked after? There are so many people who are dying from neglect. Can't we organize something? Can't we make a sort of a home?" And of course, by asking for that, he opened doors in my heart, and because I had experience from organizing help from the German relief organization of the Order of Malta, and so we started, as I said, in the year 1992 with the organization. And of course we needed some building, and we started building in 1995 and opened Blessed Gerard's Care Center on the 3rd of September in 1996.
So that was the beginning. Right. Could you tell us about the next couple of years and how things developed?
Basically, each and every project that we started was a specific answer to a need in the area. It was not that we had a program and we are looking for people who we could serve. It was the other way around, that we found a need which was not properly addressed by other people, and then we said, let's do something and let's organize something to do it. As far as our hospice is concerned, when we started the whole thing, it was basically just a care center where we looked after people who had been neglected before. And then the so-called AIDS wave washed us away in the sense that we had more and more AIDS patients. When we started, we had round about 50% cancer patients and 50% AIDS patients, and in nowadays it's 99.9% of AIDS patients. We have got kind of fame, negative fame, as being the AIDS capital of the world. South Africa is round about 1/3 of the population HIV positive. In the province of KwaZulu-Natal, or Zululand, we are round about at half to 2/3 of the population being HIV positive. And then there are what we call pockets of high infection rate. And Mandini in January 2004 had an HIV rate of 76% of the HIV tests
and
being positive.
Where is the centre positioned exactly, just to give our people an idea who are not familiar with these surroundings?
It is in a small town. Everybody knows where Durban is, which is a 4 million city at the Indian Ocean, round about in the center of South Africa. And if you go 100 kilometers north of Durban, you come to the Tugela River. And where the Tugela River mouth is, you go 15 kilometers inwards inland, and there you will find the little town of Mandini. Mandini has round about 10,000 inhabitants, and then there's a large township called Sundumbili, which has round about 150,000 inhabitants. And then in slums around Sundumbili township is another 50,000 people, and the other 40,000 people are in a rural area round about Mandini. It is round about, if you take a radius of 30 kilometers around Mandini, this is where those 250,000 people live, which we are serving.
That was the first part of an interview with Benedictine missionary Father Gerard Lagleder, telling us about the work of the Blessed Gerard Care Centre in Mandeni. If you would like to learn more about their work, you can visit their website. The address is www.bbg.org.za. You can also contact Father Gerard by writing to father@bbg.org.za.